dollar, the euro. Why else is it great to learn this stuff? Well, first of all, even complete beginners can do very well at investing if they're given a proven strategy that works and they follow the steps. Even complete beginners can do very well if they're given the right strategies. You can start small. How much money do you use to start investing? $200, £200, €200. That's all you need to get started.
200,000.
And it takes very little time. Some of the best strategies that I use and I teach take just 1 hour a week to invest. And that can be in the evening or the weekend. You've got a full-time job or a business, very easy to run this alongside. And you can make money in any markets. If the markets go up, you can make money. If the markets come down, you can make money. If the markets go sideways, you can also make money. And as I said at the start of this talk, right now is probably the best time ever to be learning this. Because of everything that's happening in the world, it really is an incredible time to be learning how to invest. So again, good job on your timing to be here today. Perfect time to learn this. And anybody can do this. You don't need to be good at maths. You don't need to be good at computers. You just learn a strategy, get good at it, repeat it. And of course, you don't need to find products to sell. You don't need to find clients. You don't need to build websites or databases. You just learn a strategy, get good at it, repeat it. And you can trade from home or anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
I like to go on lots of holidays. I usually spend about 6 or 7 months a year on vacation. I usually spend about 3 or 4 months in the winter skiing, snowboarding, and then about 3 or 4 months in the summer just going to somewhere nice and hot. Just recently, I spent 3 months in the Caribbean, in Antigua. I just got back from a couple of weeks in the Maldives with my family. All I need to do is find 1 hour a week, internet connection. I can do this from anywhere in the world. So whether I'm on safari, my family, or helicopter snowboarding in Japan, 1 hour a week. That's all I've got to find. I can do this from anywhere. So how do you get good at investing? Actually, first of all, did you know 95% of traders and investors lose money? Did you know that? 95% of traders and investors lose money. When I heard that statistic, I got excited because I thought to myself, where's that huge amount of money going to? And where is that huge amount of money going to? The 5% who know what they're doing. I thought if I can just get into that 5%, that's a huge amount of money coming my way. And it's actually a lot easier than you might think once you know the correct strategies. Now, what's the average investor approach to investing? Average investor, what do? They read a couple of books on investing, maybe. They go online, they try and learn a little bit, maybe. And then what does the average investor do? They take out a big chunk of their life savings, they put it in the stock market, they put it in the Forex markets, they cross their fingers, and what normally happens? They normally lose a lot of money very fast. When I first started out, I tried the average investor approach, and I lost a lot of money very fast. So I thought I'd better get good at this. And I decided I wanted to become an outstanding investor. One of the first things I did is I read almost 300 books on trading and investing, on the stock market, Forex, commodities, indices, options, cryptocurrencies. I read all the books. I then attended over 30 investment training courses all around the world. And at the time, I didn't have much money. I was borrowing money to go on a lot of these courses. I paid for a lot of these courses with my credit cards. And I thought, well, this is an investment in my future. It's going to pay back many times. I then tracked down some of the greatest living investors in the world, and I got them to mentor me one-to-one. And I got to learn one-to-one from literally the best investors in the world. And I learned one-to-one from the guy who won the World Trading Championships. He started with $10,000. Within 12 months, he turned it into 1.1 million real money. I spent a day with him, just the two of us, while he showed me how he did that. I learned one-to-one from a guy who made over $1 million profit from trading, Louis Borsellino. I spent an afternoon with him, just the two of us, while he showed me how he did that. I'd always wanted to learn about Bollinger Bands, quite a well-known investment indicator. Who did I learn about Bollinger Bands from? John Bollinger, the guy who invented the indicator. Just the two of us sitting together on the sofa with our laptops while he showed me how to use that. That was pretty incredible. I then came back to the UK, I live in London, applied everything I'd learned. Within a few years, I was a multimillionaire. In today's training, I'm going to give you some of the best stuff I learned through that process. And as I said, I've got some incredible strategies to share with you, including the one that my wife was using to average about $4,000 profit a day. Take some good notes. You're in for a great, great session. So let's go back forwards. Let's have a look. What are we going to cover today? So in today's session, oh, actually, just quickly, if you're interested, here's a few more people I learned from. That's me with Rob Hoffman. He won the World Trading Championships 3 times. I spent the afternoon learning his strategies. That's Louis Borsellino. He's the guy who made over $1 million profit in 30 seconds. I spent the afternoon with him, just the two of us, where he showed me how he did that. That's John Bollinger, the guy who invented Bollinger Bands. That's Larry Williams. He's the guy who went from 10,000 to 1.1 million in 12 months. I spent the day with him, again, just the two of us, while he showed me how he did that. And I wanted to learn from anyone who become extremely wealthy, however they've done it. And I'd find some of the wealthiest, most successful people in the world, and I'd learn from them. Actually, out of interest, type yes if you've read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki.
Yes.
Type yes in the chat window if you've read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Wow, okay. That looks like several thousand yeses whizzing past me really quickly there. Okay, good. It's a good book. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. I learned Robert's strategies from him personally. I spent some time with Rob. Oh, I just lost my clicker. Let me go back up here. I spent some time with Robert learning his strategies. And I think somebody's just about to switch my clicker back on, hopefully. There we go, yeah. I spent some time with Robert learning his wealth strategies, which was fantastic. I also spent some time one-to-one with Richard Branson, multi-billionaire, one of the richest people in the world. I spent some time with him learning his wealth strategies. So I learned from some pretty incredible people. And as I said, over the next few years, made many millions of pounds profit. In today's training, I'm going to teach you some of the best stuff I learned through that process. Take some good notes. Here we go. The most important question. How would you get good at investing? The first part is to learn some proven strategies that work. And that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to give you some proven strategies that work. Jot these down. You'll be able to use them straight away. If you want to get really good at investing, that's the hard part. Because one of the best ways to get really good really fast is find someone who's a very, very good trader and investor and get them to mentor you one-to-one. And that's what I did. I went off around the world. I found some of the world's top traders and I got them to mentor me one-to-one. And that probably is the best way to get really good really fast. But I say it's the hard part to do because if someone is a very, very good trader and investor, chances are they either charge a heck of a lot of money for mentoring or they just don't do it at all. So that is actually pretty hard to do. And before you ask, I do occasionally do one-to-one mentoring, but it's not cheap. I currently charge $30,000 for a single one-to-one mentoring session. And you might say, well, how could I justify charging that amount? Because I know that what I teach the person, they can use to make far, far more than that. And a bit later on in my talk, I'll let you hear from a few of my students. You'll hear the kind of incredible things they're able to do using these strategies. But I can tell you right now, many, many, many of my students have gone on to make tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, million plus dollars, multi-million dollars. Some of my students have become so successful, they're now semi-famous in their own right. You may have even heard of some of these people. For example, Marcus de Maria, investment multi-millionaire, one of my students. Greg Secker, investment multi-millionaire, one of my students. So let's have a look. What are we going to cover today? In today's session, this is what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you the smart way to invest. It's a system that I came up with after being mentored one-to-one by some of the world's top traders. I'm going to give you a sector strategy, very profitable, very reliable. Hardly anybody knows about it. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it in today's session. And even if you're a complete beginner, new to this, you'll definitely get this strategy. I'm going to show you how to correct the main investment mistakes. I'm going to give you a simple, high profit, low risk strategy. Great one for beginners, very simple, very profitable, and it doesn't take much time. And I'm going to show you how to protect your capital. And what I would say is, if you have any questions, if you could save them until the end, and then that way I can get time to cover all the strategies. And I can see there, we've got a lot more people who just joined us in the last couple of minutes. So for the people who just joined us, I say, hi, I'm Darren, teaching this session. And for the people who've just joined us, I should say in today's session, I am going to give you proven strategies that work. I'm literally going to share with you some of the best investment techniques in the world in today's session. So you're going to get a lot of great content from this. Now, oh, just to check, I remember to mention it, after today's session, if you want to learn more, you can. We have an online Forex and stock market masterclass training course. It's 100% online, so it's perfect for learning from home. And it's over 16 hours of videos of me personally teaching the very best strategies, very best techniques that I learned from the world's trading champions. It's my life work. I spent over 20 years finding the very best strategies, finding the very best techniques. I worked out I spent over $100,000 of my money learning this stuff. In this online training program, you get everything. All the best strategies, all the best techniques. Really is an incredible training program. And I teach it in a very clear, simple way so that even complete beginners can understand. And I'm actually quite proud of that training. I truly believe it is the best online investment training program in the world. And you'll be learning the same things which I taught thousands of other people how to invest successfully. And actually, as well as the online training program, after each lesson, you get an online live questions and answer session. So you get all of your individual questions answered directly to you. So very effective way to learn. It's actually the most popular investment training course in Europe. Over 10,000 people have completed our course. And we now have clients all over the world. And it's been the most popular for over 15 years. We actually won Best Investment Training Course for 3 years in a row. And if you're interested in that training, the investment for it is $4,997 with no offers and no discounts. It's not the cheapest course, but it's the best. And sometimes I ask, well, Darren, why do you run a training company? It takes very little of my time. I think investing is a really valuable skill that people need to know. And it's another stream of income. So it makes a lot of sense. So let me give you this first strategy. This first strategy is, as I said, called a sector strategy. Very profitable, very reliable. Hardly anybody knows about it. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this right now. So let's have a look. And I should say, during the presentation, I am going to show you several different examples. Some of these examples will be in British pounds, some will be in US dollars, and some will be in euros. So just to check everyone's familiar with the conversions, at the moment, a dollar is worth almost the same as a euro, which is worth almost the same as a pound. Now, a pound is worth a little bit more, but they're all fairly similar. So euro, dollar, pound, they're all fairly similar. Pound is worth a little bit more. So it makes it nice and simple for the conversions. Now, and I should also say, I know today we've got people on here from all over the world, which is fantastic. Wherever you live, you can do these strategies. Doesn't matter what country you live in, you can trade these strategies. So for example, a lot of my clients are in South Africa. I also have a lot of clients in Europe, in the UK. I have a lot of clients in America, Canada, Australia, Middle East, Asia. Wherever you live in the world, you can do this. So let's do this first strategy. This is a sector strategy. Very profitable strategy, and anybody can learn how to do this. What influences your stock price? Well, first of all, what happens to the whole economy will affect your company's stock price or share price. And by the way, stock and share, that means the same thing. A stock is a share is a stock. So what influences your company's stock price or share price? The whole economy will affect it. What happens to the whole market will affect your company's stock price. What happens to the sector will affect your company's stock price. Anybody give me an example of a sector? Type into the chat window. Give me an example of a sector.
Mining.
Let's have a look. So we got someone saying health, IT, hospitality, textiles, construction, oil and gas, mining, tech, pharmaceuticals, transportation. Okay, going faster than I can read now. Hundreds of answers going across the screen there. Yeah, fantastic, good examples. So a sector is a big group of similar companies. Yeah, so we could have the technology sector, the healthcare sector, the financial sector, and then within the sector we have the smaller bits which we call industries. So we could have the great big technology sector. Within it, we've got the computer software industry, computer hardware industry, the smaller bits. So industries are the smaller bits. We then have the company itself. The question is, how much influence does the market sector industry have over what happens to your company's stock price? And the answer is a lot.
Yes.
About 80% of what happens to your company's stock price is dependent on the market sector industry that's in.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is, I'm now going to give you a strategy that uses this principle to generate some pretty incredible returns. And this is going to take me a couple of minutes to explain. Stick with me. You definitely want to know this strategy. It's very profitable, also very simple. So have a look at this. Economic cycle. There are two main stages of the economy, boom and bust. And sometimes we call this expansion, contraction. So just a fancy word for the same thing. It's useful to break this down to 5 stages. We break the boom stage into 3 bits: early expansion, middle expansion, late expansion. We break the bust into 2 bits: early contraction, late contraction. Now, how can we use this to make a lot of money investing? This is how. Certain types of company tend to do very well at certain stages in the economy. For example, technology companies, they tend to do very well just here at early expansion. Healthcare companies, they tend to do very well just here at early contraction. So if we know what stage of the economy we're coming into, we can buy the right types of company, the companies that are supposed to do well at that stage. Now, let me just check that everyone's following along so far. So this is going to be the interactive part of my talk. I want to hear an answer from everybody in the chat window. If we were just coming into early expansion, what types of company do you want to buy at early expansion? Type into the chat window. What types of company? So see tech, IT, Apple, Zoom, Facebook, technology, IT. Yeah, good. Amazon, someone's saying. Yeah, excellent. So we want to buy technology companies at that stage because they're supposed to do well there. Yeah. Now, what about if instead we were coming into the early contraction stage of the economy? What types of company would we want to buy then? We were just coming into early contraction. Type it in. So we're saying NHS, Pfizer, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, health industry, medical equipment, vaccinations, Johnson & Johnson. Yeah, absolutely. Someone says labs. Yeah, good examples. Loads of examples whizzing past me on the screen there. So if we're coming into that stage of the economy, we want to buy health companies because they're supposed to do well there. Now, before I give you the strategy, I'm going to tell you which companies do well at each of these stages. So during each of the 5 stages, which types of companies should I invest in? At early expansion, types of companies that tend to do very well are capital goods, technology, and transportation.
Yes.
At middle expansion, capital goods still tend to do very well.
Yes.
At late expansion, energy companies, basic materials, and consumer staple. Anybody give me an example of consumer staple? Type into the chat window. Consumer staple, anyone give me an example? Let's have a look at somebody saying food, yeah, someone said toilet paper, milk, rice, Colgate, detergent, bread, supermarkets, someone said Walmart, Tesco's, someone saying healthcare. Okay, yeah, good. So consumer staple is things that we use all the time. Yeah, so it's going to be like food, alcohol, tobacco, cosmetics, healthcare, they're all consumer staple. And then at early contraction, consumer staples still do well in utilities. Anybody give me an example of utilities? What kind of thing? Yeah, see oil, gas, electric. Yeah, so services in the home, that's the utilities. And then late contraction, we have financials and consumer cyclical. Now, if you want to grab your phone, take a photo of that screen, or do a screenshot, or at least write it down, yeah? This is going to be really valuable to you once I give you the strategy in just a moment. Yeah. And most people have no idea about this. So definitely get a copy of that, take a photo, do whatever you need to do. And we know that if we're coming into a new stage, we're going to buy the right types of company, yeah? So we come into a new stage, we know what types of company is supposed to do well at that stage, so we can buy the right types of company. Yeah. So the all-important question is, well, there's actually probably 2 all-important questions. One is, where are we now? Another all-important question, even better, is how do we know when we get into a new stage? Because if you know how to do this, you'll be able to do it all the time. There are really 3 main steps to knowing when you're coming into a new stage of the economy. I'm going to give you the first one now, because it's a quick, rough way to do it, and it'll be enough to get you started, so you can start making money using this.
Please.
What you do is, you go to the Financial Times website, the FT website, and or you can buy a copy of the Financial Times newspaper. There's a section in there called Leaders and Laggards, which looks like this. At the top of the list are the sectors that have gone up the most. At the bottom of the list are the sectors that have gone down the most. And what you do is you look at about the top 10 or 12 sectors and you say which types of sector have been doing the best. So in this example, we've got, you can see that health, personal care, pharmaceuticals, tobacco, food and drug retail. They're all what we call consumer staple. We then have water, gas, utilities. They're all what we call utilities. So consumer staple utilities were doing very well. Consumer staple utilities doing very well. Whereabouts were we? Consumer staple utilities doing very well. We were at early contraction. Yeah, that's exactly where we were. It took about 5 seconds to work that out by looking at the FT. Now, let me give you another way to do this. If you go to this website, this is marketwatch.com. There's a free tool on there called a sector heat map, which looks like this. And each of these big rectangles with a thick white outline is a sector. So for example, we've got the energy sector, we've got the financial sector, we've got the healthcare sector, we've got the consumer cyclical sector, we've got the technology sector. Each of the smaller rectangles is a company. Yeah. The brighter green the rectangle, the more the company's stock price has gone up. Brighter red the rectangle, the more the company's stock price has gone down. Now, we use this in quite a sophisticated way. We say to ourselves, which of the sectors is greenest? That's it, nice and simple. Yeah, which of the sectors is greenest? In this example, nearly all the squares in consumer cyclical are green. Half of technology is taking off in a really big way. Consumer cyclical, technology, whereabouts were we? Consumer cyclical, technology. We were just swapping over between the late contraction to the early expansion. So what types of company would you want to buy? Capital goods, technology, transportation, because they're supposed to do well at that stage. Now, I'm going to show you a real example of the kind of huge profits you can make using this strategy. As a real example, we did this research a couple of years ago. We found out we were coming to the early contraction stage of the economy. It's very obvious, everything was saying just coming into early contraction. So we then found out what are the sectors that are supposed to do well at that stage. Consumer staple utilities were supposed to do well. We then found out, well, what are the smaller bits in those sectors? What are the industries? So within consumer staple, we have hospital management companies, we have beverage companies, tobacco companies, cosmetics companies. In utilities, we have electric companies, natural gas, etc. So we're coming into early contraction. I found out the companies or the industries that are supposed to do well at that stage. What's the next step? The next step is to buy stocks and shares in these types of companies because they're supposed to do well at that stage. Now, I'm going to show you real example, the kind of huge profits you can make using this. I'll show you what happened for real. So rather than show you individual companies, I'm going to show you what happened to each of these industries on average. So you can see what happened to every company within the industry. So hospital management companies were supposed to do well. Hospital management companies supposed to do well. The red line is the market plummeting. Blue line, hospital management companies. Whoops, let's go back one. Hospital management companies went over 100% profit in a year on average. So that's how much money you made if you picked a random company in the right industry. It was supposed to do that. Yeah? So we'll look at another one. Electric company, supposed to do well. Market goes down, electric industry got over 70% profit in a year on average. It was supposed to do that. So we'll look at another one. Beverages, supposed to do well. Market goes down, beverages went over 50% profit in a year on average. Natural gas, supposed to do well. Natural gas went over 60% profit in a year on average. Tobacco company supposed to do well. Tobacco went up 140% profit a year on average. That's how much you made if you closed your eyes and picked a random company in the right industry. Now, do we just want to close our eyes and make 140% return in a year? A couple of people say yes. Well, yes, of course, but that's how much you made if you picked a random company in the right industry. What can we do that's even better? We could pick a good company in a good industry. Yeah. Good company, good industry, 475% profit in a year, 500% profit in a year. Yeah, good company, good industry. When I learned this stuff, it totally turned my investing around. Where do you learn about this? I've read over 300 books in investing. I didn't read it in any of those. I've attended over 30 investment training courses. I didn't learn it on any of those. I learned this by being mentored one-to-one by some of the world's top investors. They were all using this. Now, once you know this, I should say most investors have no idea about this. If you're a complete beginner, you now have a massive advantage over most people. If you're already investing, you've got to start using this. It's so powerful, so profitable. Now, in this example here, I put $2,000 would have become $12,000 in a year. $10,000 for 45 minutes work. Let me just check before we continue. Type yes if you would like $10,000 for 45 minutes work. Yes. Okay, good. That's a lot of yeses going past that. Looks like, again, a few thousand yeses whizzing past them on the screen. Good, because you can do that kind of thing once you get good at this strategy. Now, 500% profit in a year. In reality, is the return likely to be that big? Well, probably not, because you might miss the start of the stage, you might miss the end of the stage. What if you only made 200% return in a year? Would that still be okay? Yes. Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. And real trades, real money. Do people make these kind of returns using this strategy, 500% profit in a year? Well, yeah, of course they do. Here's some of our course graduates. 500% profit in a year. I attended the training course over a year ago. I started with $2,000. I now have well over $10,000 profit using what I was teaching you just there, with a couple of extra steps you learned on the course. Another of our course graduates, 3,000 to 47,000 in 9 weeks. Between a period of 8 to 9 weeks, I made my 3,000 initial investment grow to $47,000. Again, using what I was teaching you just there, with a few extra things you learned on the course. Another of our course graduates, 242% profit in 8 months, just using these strategies. Now, I'm going to teach you another strategy. But first of all, I have a question for you. Type yes if you are feeling lucky today. Type yes if you're feeling lucky today.
Lucky.
Okay, that is a lot of yeses going past that. I can see Grace, Claudia, Sarah, Sean, Kim, Renoir, Simone, Theo. It's going way faster than I can read, so I'm trying to pick out a few names here. Good. What I'm going to do is, before the end of this talk, I'm going to give one of you the chance to get my trading watch list for free. Now, what is this? This is a list of exactly what I'm looking to trade. And I'm going to give one of you the chance to get that for free. I currently have 43 people who've paid me $5,000 each to get hold of this. I put up their value $5,000. I've got 43 people paid me $5,000 each to get hold of my watch list, but I'm going to give one of you the chance to get that for free before the end of this talk. And for that person, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you my trading watch list each week for 12 weeks for American stocks and shares, UK stocks and shares, and also for Forex trades, right up to date, exactly what I'm looking to trade. Now, I should say, wherever you live in the world, you can trade any of these things. So, for example, I live in the UK. Quite often, I trade American stocks and shares. If you live in South Africa, you could trade UK stocks and shares if you wanted to. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. You can trade any of these things. And as I said, I currently got 43 people pay me $5,000 each to get hold of my watch list. Why do those people think it's worth paying me $5,000 to get my watch list? Two main reasons. First one is, by seeing what I'm looking to trade each week, that's a great way to learn. And you can start to get pretty good, pretty fast by watching what I'm doing. The second reason is, what quite a few of these people are doing is, they're just copying my trades. And quite a few of these people are making a lot of money just copying my trades. For example, this guy, he made $8,000 profit using Darren's watch list. I used trades from Darren's watch list. I'm up $8,000 on a pot of 10,000 in 4 months. He was pretty much just copying my trades. So even if you know nothing about investing, you could make a lot of money using my watch list. Well worth the $5,000. but I'm going to give one of you the chance to get that for free before the end of this talk. Now, let's talk about the investment rules. Actually, first of all, I have a question for you. How much money is there in the stock markets? Type in your answer. How much money is there in the stock markets? Let's have a look. So, someone's saying 6 billion, 3 billion, 5 trillion, a billion, 100 billion, 20 trillion. Okay, lots of answers there. Again, going faster than I can read now. Thousands of answers whizzing past. I'll tell you how much. There is enough. Enough for all of us, that's for sure. If you take into account the main American stock markets, that's over $30 trillion.
Trillion.
That's without even including the Forex markets. Let me just check before we continue. Type yes if you would like a share of $30 trillion.
Yes.
Bring it on.
Okay, good.
Come on.
It would be a short presentation otherwise. Now, the markets are a bit like a big bank safe. All the money's there, but most people don't know the correct combination code or sequence of steps to get the money out of the markets. If you are standing in front of the bank safe and the safe door is closed, and someone says you can have all the money out of the safe if you can get it out, and here's the combination code, is that easy? Well, yeah, of course. If you've got the combination code, it's easy. What about if you don't have the combination code? Is that a bit trickier? Yeah, a bit trickier. Most people don't have the combination code to get the money out of the markets. I've now been investing for over 20 years. The first couple of years, I spent learning the combination code. I worked out I spent over $100,000 of my money learning the combination code to get the money out of the markets. As I said, I went off around the world. I found some of the greatest living investors in the world, and I got them to mentor me one-to-one. And some of these people, I had to pay a lot of money. One guy, I paid $20,000 for him to teach me for 4 hours a month. So for $20,000, I got 1 hour a week on the telephone. Now, who thinks that was a good deal? $20,000 for an hour a week on the telephone.
I think it was a good deal.
Well, depends what I learn. I can tell you, using what he taught me, over the next few years, I made several $100,000. So was it a good deal? Yes or no?
Yes.
Well, yeah, of course. Any good investor knows the important thing is not how much something costs, it's how much it's worth.
Yeah.
And it's certainly worth me paying that guy $20,000 to teach me. Now, we're going to cover the first part of the combination code. There are 6 main mistakes that traders and investors make. And I discovered that this is the combination code. The combination code is once you correct these 6 mistakes, you can start getting consistent big money from the markets. And the first mistake people make is not using the correct investment indicators. Now, for beginners, what is an investment indicator? It's something which is related to the price that we use to help us tell what's going to happen next to the price. Now, actually, let's do a simple example, a non-investing example. Let's say time of day. Time of day is an indicator for how many cars are on the road. If it's Monday morning, 7:30 or 8:30 in a big city, are there going to be lots of cars on the road? Well, yeah, of course. What about if it's 11:30 Monday morning? Are there likely to be less cars on the road? Well, yes. So time of day is an indicator for how many cars are on the road. Investment indicator, something related to the price used to help us tell what's going to happen next. So in this example, we have the price along the top there, this kind of black squiggly line there. We have the indicator just here, this kind of black wiggly line just there. And that indicator is called RSI. Now, you need to use the right settings, but let me just explain how this works. When the black indicator line goes above the red line, that tells us to buy. So you can see just here, when the black indicator line goes above the red line, that tells us to buy. So we buy just about there somewhere, yeah? And, let me just go back a slide. So we're going to buy when the black line crosses above the red line, and when the black indicator line crosses below the red line, it tells us to sell. So you can see just here, black indicator line went below the red line, told us to sell just that. So about there somewhere, just about there. So we'd sell just that, which was a nice profit. And that's a real example. Let's do one more. So in this example, when it crosses above the line, so just here, that tells us to buy. Black line crosses above the red line, tells us to buy. And so we're going to buy just about there somewhere. When it crosses below the red line, it tells us to sell. So we'd sell about there somewhere. Yeah. Now, again, another real example, you would have made a nice profit on that trade. Yeah. We would have sold just about there somewhere. Yeah. Let's do one more. So black indicator line crosses above the red line, just here. So it tells us to sell. And we'd still be in the trade. Yeah. The indicator is still above the red line. So we're still in the trade, still making money on that. Yeah. So making a nice profit on that trade. Now, was that fairly easy to learn? Yeah, was that fairly easy to learn? Pretty simple. I'm going to give you a test. What I want you to do is tell me when to buy. Actually, type in the word buy in the chat window when you should buy, okay? Type in buy when you should buy.
No.
Okay, looking there, loads of people saying buy, 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 buy. Yep, perfect. Gone above the red line. We're going to buy just here, so we get into the trade about there somewhere.
Yeah.
And now type in the word sell when we should sell. Okay, type in sell when we should sell. We're going to buy just there. And let me know when to sell. No, we'd still be in the trade, yeah, because it hasn't gone back below the red line, so we'd still be in the trade, still making a profit on that one. Okay, let's do one more. Type in buy when we should buy. So you ready for this?
No.
Now, a few people type buy just there, not quite. It's really close. Yeah, it's actually going to go above the line. So let's keep going.
No.
Okay, there, you got it. Yeah. Loads of people typing buy, 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 buy. Yeah, okay, good. It's above the line. Now type in sell when we should sell. So I'm going to buy just there and type in when we should sell.
No. Var det ikke helt. Der.
Yeah, it looks like just there. Yeah, definitely it's below now. Yeah, so we're going to sell just there. And again, another real example would have made a nice profit on that trade. Yeah. Now, was that fairly easy to learn?
No.
Yeah, that was pretty simple to learn. We just learned the first part of the combination code. In a moment, what I'm going to do is, well, first of all, that was fairly easy to learn. There are 5 other main indicators I use. They're all just as simple to learn. This stuff is easy. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, if it's this easy, why doesn't everybody do it? Because most people don't know the combination code. They don't know what indicators to use. They don't know what sets to use. They don't know this stuff. Once you know it is easy, anyone can do it. Now, of course, you've got to do the practice so you get good, but it's easy to learn this stuff. Now, we're going to cover another strategy. This is a very simple, very profitable strategy. First of all, before I give you this next strategy, I have a question for you. Who is feeling really lucky today? Type yes if you are feeling really lucky today.
Yes.
Yes.
And you've got to type yes to be part of this. Let's have a look. So we've got Karen, Emily, Danielle, Benedict, going fast on my readers now. Linda, Carol,
Linda
Ben,
Gusing.
Ola, Sean.
Ola.
As soon as it slows down very slightly, I pick up a name there. Michelle, Paula. Good. Because what I'm going to do is, before the end of this talk, I'm going to give one of you the chance to attend our 3-day live investment success training course for free. And that will be for you and a guest. Now, 2 tickets to that event are normally $5,000. We have many, many people who already bought 2 tickets from us for $5,000. It's well worth it. People have been very, very happy that they attended that training. It's an incredible training course. But I'm going to give one of you the chance to get that for free before the end of this talk.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
we hold the training at our office. And what happens is, on the morning of the first day, we make sure that complete beginners you know exactly what you're doing, you know how to get everything set up, you know how to get started. And then over the next 2.5 days, we cover the strategies, you see real examples, you do practical exercises. Really is an incredible training course. We've actually won many awards for the best investment training course. It's well worth the $5,000. But I'm going to give one of you the chance to get out for free before the end of this talk. Now, let's do this next strategy. So we just covered the first part of the combination code, which was indicators. As I said, there are 5 other parts to the combination code. Once you know all 6 parts of the combination code, what happens to the safe door? It opens, and you can start getting consistent big money from the markets. Now, I was thinking about this, and I thought, for me to master the combination code, it cost me several years of my life. It cost me over $100,000. But once I knew it, it was easy. Anyone could do it. And I thought, what would be the best way to teach other people the combination code so they could master it in the quickest, easiest way possible? And I thought the best way to do this is I'll get a lot of people to send me in trades, I'll analyze their trades, and I'll record some videos. And on those videos, I point out anywhere where they made one of these 6 main mistakes. And I thought I'll show them how to correct those mistakes. I'll show them how to do it right the next time. And I thought if I point out those 6 mistakes enough times and people watch the videos, they'll know exactly how to do it. They'll know the combination code to getting consistent big money from the markets. And I thought in order to point out the 6 mistakes enough times, I probably need about 24 trades to look through. And I thought if I do the project properly, I can probably record 4 trade analysis videos a day. Because I've got to look at the person's trade, see where they made a mistake, tell them how to correct it, record the video. I thought I can probably record 4 videos a day. 24 trades, 4 videos a day. The project would take me 6 days to complete. Now, I mentioned earlier, I currently charge $30,000 for a single one-to-one mentoring session. So I thought if I just did 1 mentoring session a day for 6 days, that's $180,000. 6 days of my time is worth about $180,000. I thought if I spend the 6 days producing this product, is anyone going to pay me $180,000 for it? And I thought, well, I don't know. And I decided I'd produce the project anyway. And I produced this product, 24 trade analysis videos, and I told all my clients about it. I said, look, I've just produced this product. I said, you watch this, you know exactly how to do it. And I told them how much I thought it was worth. I said, I spent over $100,000 of my money learning this stuff. It took me over 6 days to produce this product. 6 days of my time is worth about $180,000. I said, I reckon this product is worth many hundreds of thousands of dollars. I said, make me an offer. One small group of investors paid me $130,000 to get hold of these 24 videos. I'll show you what they got. They got the 24 trade analysis videos on 8 memory sticks. They got 1 group mentoring session with me, and they got a couple of other training videos. But the main thing they were after were these 24 trade analysis videos. Now, a couple of months later, another small group heard about this product. They also heard about the results the first group were getting. A second group of investors paid me $130,000 to get hold of these 24 videos. They got the same thing as the first group. But what I thought is, with the second group, I thought, well, they obviously know the value of this product. I know the value of these 24 trade analysis videos, but I thought it doesn't really do it justice giving it to them on 8 plastic multicolored memory sticks. I thought for this second group, I'm going to do something even better. And what I did is, for the second group, I gave them their 24 trade analysis videos on a 24-karat gold-plated memory stick.
Yes.
I thought that's more like it. That shows the real value of what they're getting. And I worked out how much they paid to get hold of these videos. As I said, a one-to-one or a group mentoring, I currently charge $30,000. So they basically paid $100,000 to get hold of these 24 videos. And you might be thinking, well, that's a lot of money to pay for just 24 videos. The question is, was it worth it? I can tell you right now, from the early feedback from the group, I'm guessing they've already made over $1 million using what they learned on those videos. Within 4 weeks, one of the group made over $50,000 profit. Within 8 weeks, another group made over $100,000 profit. That was $150,000 profit in their first 8 weeks. In total, they paid me $130,000. So they were already up within 8 weeks. As I said earlier, Any good investor knows the important thing is not how much something costs, it's how much it's worth.
Yeah.
And it's certainly worth those guys paying me over $100,000 to get hold of those videos. I kept one of these for myself. I have it here on my desk. Let me show you this. This is 24 karat gold plated memory stick with the 24 trade analysis videos on. Ooh, let me try and get that in front of the camera. I think I need to go that way a little bit. Oh, there we go. There, about there somewhere. That's 24 karat gold plated memory stick with the 24 trade analysis videos on. 2 small groups of traders and investors paid me over $100,000 each to get hold of that. I'm going to keep this one very safe. That's mine. I mean, the real value is what's on there, which is the strategies, techniques to get good, consistent, big profits from the markets. Now, I'm going to give you another strategy. And this strategy is very profitable, but it's also very simple. It's a great one for anybody to get started with, and it takes very little time. It's actually one of my favorite strategies. So before I teach you this next strategy, we've been sitting kind of still for a while. You can stay sitting down, but let's just get the energy back up, ready for this next strategy. Let's just do together. Let's just do a quick stretch. I'll do this with you. Quick stretch to the left. Oh, it feels good. And a quick stretch to the right.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, that's nice. And let's roll the shoulders back. Oh, it feels good. And roll the shoulders forwards. Nice. And head to the left. Head to the right. And head forwards. Oh, feels good. Deep breath in. And out. And in. And out. Okay, it feels good. You ready for this? So, this next strategy. As I said, this is one of my favorite strategies. And I was actually invited to speak at a conference in London a while ago. And there's an investment conference. They asked me to come and give a talk there. I turned up at the conference a couple of hours early. And I didn't really have anything to do. I was sitting in the back of the room, waiting to go on stage. So what I did is I took out my phone and I traded the strategy that I'm about to teach you. And whilst I was sitting in the back of the room, trading the strategy that I'm about to teach you, in just a couple of hours, I made over $15,000 profit. And then I got on stage to give my talk, and I said to the audience, I said, look, whilst you were listening to the last speaker, I was sitting at the back of the room with my phone, and I made $15,000. And I actually got off the stage, and I walked around the audience, and I showed them my trading statement on my phone. And I said, have a look at that. That's what I just did whilst you were watching that last speaker. I think I actually took a screenshot of this. Let's see if I've got it yet. Yeah, you can see there, I did 3 trades whilst I was waiting to give my talk. £4,000 profit, £4,000 profit, which is actually just over, that was all in a couple of hours, just over $15,000 profit. Now, you could have done those size of trades with about a $50,000 account. Now, you might say, well, I don't have $50,000. That's okay. If you had $5,000, you would have made $1,500 profit. If you only had $500, you would have made $150 profit in just a couple of hours, yeah? So it's a pretty nice return, whatever amount of money you started with. Now, I'm going to teach you that strategy in just a moment. I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that in just a couple of minutes' time. Another strategy that I use, I call my summer holiday strategy, or my summer vacation strategy. Because the first time I used it, it was 2019, I used it to pay for my summer holidays. And I thought I'd show you some of the trades that I did using my summer holiday strategy. This is my trading statement just here. You can see the date along the side there. So that was the kind of first week of June coming into the summer. There's the trades that I did. And that week, using my summer holiday strategy, I did 13 trades. I got 12 out of 13 correct. Total work, 45 minutes. That week, using my summer holiday strategy, I made £97,000 profit, which is about $124,000. That was in 1 week using my summer holiday strategy. I then went on holiday for a month. I went to Portugal, stayed in a beautiful villa in Portugal. I also went to Italy. I went to Fregene. hired a beautiful villa right by the beach, had a wonderful month's vacation. I then came back to the UK and I did another week's trading. And you can see again, this is my trading statement there. That was kind of mid-July when I got back from holiday. That week, using my summer holiday strategy, I did 14 trades. I got 14 out of 14 correct. Total work, 45 minutes. That week, using my summer holiday strategy, I made $365,000 profit. Took my total for those 2 weeks up to 489,000 US dollars profit. I went on holiday for another month. This time I went to Turkey, I went to Bodrum, and I stayed in the best 5-star hotel. I had the best suite. Took my family with me. That's my son relaxing by the pool there. I also went to Marbella in Spain, had a beautiful month's holiday, came back to the UK, did another week's trading. And you can see this is my trading statement from my phone there. This week, using my summer holiday strategy, I did 6 trades, 6 out of 6 correct. Total work, 30 minutes. That week, using my summer holiday strategy, I made $135,000 profit. Took my total for those 3 weeks up to $624,000 profit. So over $500,000 profit. That's about £500,000, about €500,000 profit. That was for 2 hours work. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's okay for you, Darren. You're okay. You're good at this. What about someone else? I taught one of my team how to do this strategy just before I went on holiday. He'd never seen the strategy before. Complete beginner. I taught him for about 2 hours. 1 week later, he sent me this WhatsApp message. First week's results, 30 out of 30 wins. 4 days trading, $1,700 profit. He'd never seen the strategy before, complete beginner. I taught him for about 2 hours. 30 out of 30 wins. 4 days trading, $1,700 profit. Anybody can do this if you learn the right strategies. Now, let me give you this first strategy. This is what we call a channeling strategy. Quite often, prices will bounce up and down in a very regular, uniform way. And when they do that, we call it channeling. And what happens is, when the price gets near this invisible level here, which we call support, it tends to bounce and go up. When the price gets near this invisible level here called resistance, it tends to bounce and come down. When you see the price doing that kind of pattern, when are you going to buy it? You're going to buy it when it's close to, type in the answer, when are we going to buy it? We're going to buy it when it's close to, yeah, I'm seeing support, 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 yeah. We're going to buy it down here somewhere, yeah. When are we going to sell it? So we're going to buy it down here somewhere. When are we going to sell it? We're going to sell it when it's close to, yeah, type it in. When it's close to, yeah, resistance, res, R, yeah, here somewhere. We're going to sell it up here somewhere. Now, whatever country you live in, right now, there are companies whose stock prices are doing this channeling pattern. There always are. Forex trades quite often do this channeling pattern. Cryptocurrencies quite often do this channeling pattern. Let me show you a few examples. So this one, this is the Australian dollar, US dollar. It's a Forex example. Bouncing up and down. So what do? We buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, which was a nice trade. Yeah. Anybody heard of this little company? Anybody heard of this little company? Yeah, it's Microsoft. Yeah. So we're doing a nice channel. So what do? We buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Yeah, buy, sell, and make money as it comes down. In the online training program, I teach you how to make money as it comes down as well. Just as easy to do. If you traded that channel, you would have made 150% profit in a month. Sorry, in a year. 150% profit in a year, which is still an incredible return. Yeah. Let's look at another example. So this one, what do? We buy here, make money. Yeah. Buy here, make money. Buy here, make money. Buy here, make money. This one, if you traded that channel, 70% profit in 5 months. Another channel, this one, 60% profit in 6 months. Another channel, this one, 140% profit in 7 months trading that channel. 2,000 would have become almost 5,000 trading that one. Now, 140% return in 7 months, that's a pretty good return. Sometimes channels do even better than that. Here's one from a while ago. This one, each of the bounces here was about 50% profit. This one did 180% profit in a month. 2,000 would have become over 5,000 profit in a month trading that one. Now, I hope you're thinking a couple of things. One of them is, well, this channeling stuff looks very easy. It looks very profitable, and I'd like to do it. I hope you are thinking that because it is. But I also hope you're thinking something else. And that is, well, I bet as soon as I do it, what happens? It stops channeling and goes down. Could that happen? Well, yes, of course it could. So I'm going to give you an excellent way to protect yourself from that happening. If you want to write this down, this is how I do it. I use an indicator called ROC. And you'll find it on any of the big free websites, big free financial websites. So the indicator is called ROC, and the setting is a 14-day setting. And what you do is you get the computer to draw the indicator for you. If the indicator makes a lower bottom than the one before, you don't do the trade. And that will protect you in about 80 to 90% of the cases. This then becomes a highly profitable, highly reliable strategy. Now, real trades, real money. Do people make these kind of returns using this strategy? Well, yes, of course they do. Another of our course graduates, $6,000 profit with channeling. From an initial stake of $1,000, I generated a return of $6,000 over 2 months. The technique I used was channeling along with your recommended indicator. So this guy started with $1,000. He did channeling. 2 months later, $6,000 profit. Now, if you started with $1,000 today, and in 2 months' time you made $6,000 profit, would you be fairly happy with that? Yes or no? It's a pretty good return, yeah? And you can do that kind of thing once you get good at this strategy. Now, in a moment, I'm going to give you what is probably the most important thing you will ever learn in trading and investing. I'm going to give you that in just a couple of minutes' time. I would say it's the #1 most important thing you'll ever learn in trading and investing. Actually, the thing that I'm about to teach you is so important that I would say if it's the only thing you learned from being here today, it would have been worth you being here. I'm going to teach you that in just a couple of minutes' time. First of all, I thought it'd be a good idea to let you hear from a few of our course graduates. I'm going to play a very short video now of some of our course graduates. What I think I'll do is I'll play probably about 10, 15 seconds, then I'll pause it and I'll kind of summarize for you, be a bit quicker that way. So have a look at this, some of our course graduates. I'll pause the video after about 10 seconds and I'll summarize for you. Here you go, have a look at this.
I'm Martin Bristow. I started off with £4,000. I've doubled that, in fact, more than doubled that in 2 years. I've made £8,000 profits.
I'm Nicholas Nevins. I've been trading CFD for the last 2 months. I started with the initial capital of 14,000. And within 3 months, I nearly doubled that into 28,000.
Hi there, my name's Arvinder Ulak. Basically, I started off with £250, and with using some of Darren's strategies, I've managed to accumulate £1,500 over the last 3 months.
Okay, we'll pause it there. And let me by the way, if you want to watch the full video, you can. It's on our website. They're real people. They've done those things. But it'll be a bit quicker if I summarize for you. So really, I wanted to show you that we have people who've done the course from all over the world with all different backgrounds, all different start amounts of capital, and basically all different levels of experience from absolutely zero to having a little bit of experience, or most of them had none at all. Let me talk through a few of these. So you can see this guy here, a student starting with £4,000. And as we said at the start, a pound is worth almost the same as a dollar. It's worth a little bit more, but it's similar to US dollar. So 4,000 turned into 12,000 in 2 years, just using a couple of simple strategies that I taught him. This guy, let's just go back one. This guy, an accountant, started with 14,000, turned into 28,000 in 3 months, which was a great return. This guy, a student, started with a small account, £250, so that's just over $250, turned into 1,500 in 3 months. I taught this guy how to grow a very small account fast, and he just applied what I taught him, got a great result there. This guy, dentist, 2,000 to 10,000 in 3 months, 400% return in 3 months. I taught him a strategy of how to get big returns really fast, and he just copied the strategy, got a great result there. This lady, housewife, part-time vet, never traded before, complete beginner, made 30% return on her trades. This guy, 88 successful trades out of 94. I taught him a very reliable strategy, and again, he just practiced, copied it, 88 out of 94 trades, great result there. This guy, 30% return on his trades. This lady, 2,000 profit in a day. And then she says, and I actually went on and did even better than that going forwards. This guy, 11,000 to 36,000 in a year. And he actually said to me before the course, he said, my English isn't very good. Am I going to get this? And I said, yeah, I'm going to explain it really simply. Great result, he got that. This guy started with 5,000, turned it to 12,000 in a year. This guy, oh, you saw him on one of the slides, the designer, 3,000 to 47,000 in 9 weeks, which was a great return. This guy started with 5,000. He said using the strategies that I taught him, he was able to pay off £30,000 of debt and make enough money to cover his mortgage payments every month, his house payments, and to go on 3 really good holidays every year. Now, one of the reasons that I wanted to show you that video is because nearly everybody on the video was a complete beginner before they did the training, knew nothing about investing. And it's a bit like if you want to make a cake, if you have the recipe and you follow the steps, you can make the cake. With investing, even if you know nothing about investing, if you're given a proven strategy that works and you follow the steps, you can get the same results. This is how I was able to work with a group of children who, anyone who was on at the start of my talk, I teach children for free how to invest. And I was teaching a group of 10 and 11-year-old children how to invest. And we had a live trading competition. And in 2 hours, the winner of that competition made over $1,000 profit. Second place, $800. Third place, $700 profit. This is 10, 11-year-old children. How did I manage to get the kids so good so fast? What I said to them is, I said, look, here's a proven strategy that works. I said, copy it. And they just copied the steps. Yeah. If you know the right strategies, even complete beginners can do very well at this. It's just learning the right things. Now, let's continue. Let me give you the next strategy. So, this is, as I said, this is one of the most important things you'll ever learn in trading investing. I would say it's the number one most important thing. That is, you've got to let your profits run and cut your losses short. What do most investors do? Most investors do the exact opposite. I'm going to show you how to do this the right way around. So in this example, the price went up, came down, bounced once, bounced twice at about the same level. If the price bounces at the same level twice, we call it a double bottom chart pattern. It's a very simple, very basic chart pattern. And it means just here, the price is now more likely to go up than go down. So this is actually a good place to buy. This is a very sensible place to buy. And as soon as you buy, you're going to place a sell stop below the price bottom. Now, for beginners, what is a sell stop? It's an automatic order to get you out of the trade if the price drops down to that level. Now, so if the price drops down to here, it's going to be sold automatically. If it drops down to the sell stop. What we're going to do is, as the price goes up, when we get another price bottom, we're going to cancel this sell stop. Oh, I should first of all, before we go into that, let me just ask to check everyone's following along. Anybody tell me, why do we use a sell stop? Type into the chat window. Why do we use a sell stop? Let's have a look. So,
To raise the balance.
to limit risk, to cut losses, to protect capital, cut losses, protect capital, minimize loss. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, cut your losses short, protect the capital, let your profits run, someone said. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so if the price drops down to the sell stop, it's going to be sold automatically. And then what we do is, as the price goes up and we get another price bottom, we're going to cancel that sell stop and we're going to move it up to here. Price goes up, we get another price bottom. We cancel that sell stop, we move it up to here. Price goes up, we get another price bottom. We cancel this sell stop, we move it up to here. What's the biggest loss you could make on that trade? Well, the biggest loss is you buy it, it drops to the sell stop, it's sold immediately, you have a limited loss. It will be automatically sold for you. Yeah. What's the biggest profit you can make on that trade? Anybody, type it in. What's the biggest profit we could make on that trade?
Full house.
Biggest profit is, yeah, I'm seeing unlimited profit. So, someone says massive profit, unlimited profit, huge profit, infinity, someone said. Yeah, we have a limited loss and we have an unlimited profit. That's how you've got to be investing. Yeah. Most investors have no idea about this. Now, if you're a beginner, you now have a massive advantage over most people. If you're already investing, you've got to be using this. Whether you want to do, whether you want to trade stocks and shares, You want to trade Forex, you want to trade cryptocurrencies, you've got to be using this. If you want to do day trading, you want to do long-term investing, you want to do medium-term investing, you've got to be using something like this. It's so important, really is. If this was the only thing you learned today, it would have been worth you being here. It's so important. Now, and as a beginner, this really can set you up for some great success. So, let's talk about the wealth psychology, the wealth mindset, and the trading psychology. Now, occasionally, when I talk about wealth psychology, someone will say to me, I don't care about the wealth psychology, just give me the strategies. They're usually the people that don't do very well. You've got to get the right wealth mindset, it's so important. So I'll give you a couple of the most important bits on this. First of all, trading emotions, two main trading emotions. Fear and greed. How do we overcome this? A couple of good ways. First of all, make your investment decisions when the markets are closed, in the evenings or the weekends, because that way you'll make far more sensible, far more profitable decisions. Because what happens is when the markets are open and the prices are kind of moving up and down, it can be very emotional. If you make your investment decisions when the markets are closed, evenings, weekends, you will make far better, far more sensible decisions, far more profitable decisions. If you want to do day trading, that's fine, but get good at making investment decisions out of hours first of all. And of course, the other way to overcome this fear and greed is exactly like we just talked about, always use sell stops. Yeah, so always place a sell stop. And what we're going to do is you place this initial sell stop, which is to protect your capital, and then as the price goes up, move it up to lock in profit. Yeah? Move it up again to lock in more profit. Exactly like I just showed you on the last slide. Now, this next point, I would say this is a really good wealth belief to have. And that is, the more you give, the more you get. A lot of religions talk about this. I just think it's a really good attitude to have in life. It's a great feeling to make a lot of money fast. But I would say it's an even better feeling to then use some of that money to help people less fortunate than yourself. And over the years, I've been involved in all kinds of charity projects. I really think one of the most fulfilling things in life is to be in a position where you can help other people. And I'm sure a lot of you have already had that experience. So what I did is, once I started to become very successful at trading and investing, I thought, how can I use these skills to help other people as well as myself? And one of the things I do now is I run what I call charity live trading days. And what happens is we all get together, I trade my money for real in front of everybody. Everybody can see exactly what I'm doing, they can copy my trades. We spend the whole day trading together, we make a whole load of money, and then we give 100% of the money from the event to charity. And we choose a different charity each time. The last charity live trading day that I ran, we were raising money for SOS Children's Villages, which is fantastic children's charity. They do work all around the world, and they help kids that really need the most help. And they do some amazing work. I felt really excited to be involved in that project. And what we did is we all got together. I traded my money for real in front of everybody. Everyone could see exactly what I was doing. They could copy my trades. We spent the whole day trading together. Then we gave 100% of the money from the event to charity. This is the great thing. Once you get good at this, you can make yourself a lot of money, but you can also help a lot of other people. So if you've got a cause that you really believe in, maybe a charity you want to support, fantastic. Learn investing. Then you'll have an extra stream of income to be able to help out wherever you really want to do that. Maybe you've got a family member or relative you want to be able to help out financially. Fantastic. Learn investing. So you've got another stream of income coming in to be able to do those kind of things. Yeah, I just think it's a great way to do that. Now, this next point, there's been quite a few research projects done that have found that this is one of the most important things that decides how wealthy and successful you become. And that is who you surround yourself with. You've got to surround yourself with positive people, people who are going to encourage you to do things. I mean, a good example in my life that totally changed my life. About 20 years ago, I attended a training course taught by a guy called Tony Robbins. Actually, out of interest, type yes if you've heard of Tony Robbins. Let's have a look. Wow, okay, that is hundreds, thousands of yeses whizzing past me. Wow, there must be many thousands of yeses whizzing past very quickly there. For anyone who hasn't heard of Tony, anybody give me a 1 or 2 word description of Tony? Give me a 1 or 2 word description of Tony. So I'm seeing inspirational, motivational, huge, someone said, energy, coach, fun, someone said exciting, intense, huge, inspiring, energetic, larger than life, motivational coach. I think Tony described himself as the world's #1 life coach. His clients are people like top athletes and presidents of countries, and I think it's good stuff he teaches. I attended a training course taught by Tony about 20 years ago, and I attended it with someone who used to be a friend back then. And what happened is, partway through the course, Tony told us about all the other courses that he runs. And one of the courses he told us about was Life Mastery. It was 10 days in Hawaii, where he was going to teach us about health, wealth, relationships, all kinds of great topics. And the ticket for the training course was $10,000. And Tony said it was the last one he was ever going to do in that format in Hawaii. And it sounded incredible. And I said to my friend, I said, in the break, I'm going to go and book a place on that course with Tony. And my friend said, well, you should probably think about it a bit more. And he said, you can't really afford to do it anyway. And he said his talk on it was a bit salesy. And he said, it's probably not the last one he's going to do anyway. And what if it's not as good as he says it is? And he started giving me all his excuses as to why he wasn't going to do it. And I said to him, I said, look, I said, I'm not interested in your excuses. And I said, I don't care if his talk on it was a bit salesy. What I care about is if it's good content. And if he believes in his course, if he's passionate about it, he should be trying to persuade me to do it. I said, in the break, I'm going to go and book a place. And in the break, I went and booked a place, $10,000 Life Mastery. At the time, I was $40,000 in debt. I paid for it on a couple of credit cards. And I thought, well, unless I take some kind of decisive action, my life is probably not going to change. If I just keep doing the same things, I'm going to keep getting the same results. And I thought, once I've paid for this, I'll find a way. Somehow I'm going to make this work. And I went on that course, and it was an incredible course. I believe a big part of why I went from $50,000 in debt to making over £1 million or over $1 million within 3 years was because of what Tony taught us on that course. Because he taught us how to model people, how to learn their strategies. And then I went off around the world, I found the world's top traders, top investors, and I did what Tony said. I modeled them, I learned how they did things. And I came back to the UK, I applied everything I'd learned, and my life improved rapidly. My friend saw what was happening, and he said, wow. He said, that must have been a great course. I said, yeah, it was incredible. He said, I'm going to book a place. And he called their office, and he said, I want to do that Life Mastery in Hawaii. They said, Tony is never going to do that same format course again in Hawaii, and he never did. I'm just so glad I didn't let my friend hold me back. Now, I know sometimes it can be tough because sometimes it's your partner that's holding you back. But if something feels right, you've got to go for it. That's how your life moves ahead. Back then, my friend had a normal job doing something he doesn't really like. Guess what he's doing now? Same job he doesn't really like. Yeah. And what I found in life, I'm sure you found the same thing. It just comes down to 1 or 2 decisions that can massively improve your life. And for me, going on that course hugely improved my life. That's the great thing about life. One decision can massively improve everything. That's all it takes. Now, this next point, last point of my talk, and this is an important one. You've got to use the power of compound returns. Now, most people have at least heard of a compound return. Actually, type in yes if you've heard of a compound return.
Yes.
Yeah, I think most people, lots of yeses there, whizzing past, thousands of yeses it looks like. What does it mean, compound return? It means making money using the money you've already made, reinvesting the profits. What a lot of traders and investors do is they try and make big money fast, which is fine, but the real secret to building huge wealth is getting consistency. Because once you can get consistent monthly profits, you can start with even a small amount of capital and you can grow huge wealth relatively quickly. Once you get this consistency, that is the sensible way to build your wealth. Because once you're getting consistent monthly profits, this is how your money grows. It starts growing gradually at first, it then accelerates massively. Now, I'm going to show you one last video of my talk. very short video. It's about 30 seconds. And again, I'll probably play like 10 seconds and I'll pause and summarize for you. It's one of our course graduates after we showed him how to get consistency. Because I wanted to see how your money can grow once you get this consistency. And I should say, just to be totally open with you, this guy, he didn't just do our training course, he was actually trained by me personally. And as you already know, to be trained by me personally, one of the only few ways to do that now is through this one-to-one mentoring. So I know for quite a few of you, maybe that's not an option, but I still want you to see this video so you can see how your money can grow once you get this consistency. So have a look at this. One of our course graduates, yeah, have a look.
What was your starting capital?
My starting capital was £5,000.
Okay, and then using what you learned on the course, strategy, the techniques, how much did you make profit from trading?
I think over the period of time, over the whole period of time, probably about £500,000.
So about £500,000.
I was thinking, actually, that's kind of an underestimate.
Okay.
If you, as far as a financial benefit, because if I looked at also some of my ways that I manage my pension, I managed to avoid the crash completely.
Wow, so just using the techniques and strategies, you avoided the crash, saved your pension, and on top of that, made £500,000.
Roughly.
Yeah.
Measurable.
Wow, nice. Yeah. And you had this goal to buy a house in France, south of France?
It's 30 minutes north of Toulouse.
Okay, and you made enough money using the strategies to buy that house in France?
I bought it in cash.
Bought it in cash? Wow, nice. Okay.
Certainly for anybody who's attending a course, I'd suggest that yours is the best one to do.
Wow. So I thought I may as well play the whole video, it's quite short. Now, so what I did with that guy is I gave him a couple of very simple strategies and I showed him how to get consistency. Because once you can get consistent monthly profits, you can start with even a small amount of capital and grow huge wealth relatively quickly. And this guy, he started with £5,000, so just over $5,000, made $500,000 profit. And then he says, well, actually, that's an underestimate because I made enough money to buy a house in the south of France for cash. And once you get this monthly consistency, you can start with a small amount of capital and get some huge wealth relatively quickly. That is the sensible way to build your wealth, getting this consistency. And whilst we're talking about consistency, you saw this guy on one of the videos, 88 winners out of 94. I completed the training course over a year ago. I've been successful in 88 out of 94 trades. I taught this guy a very, very, very reliable strategy, which I learned from one of the world's top investors. It's very simple. Anybody could do it, even a complete beginner. On the training course, you're going to learn that strategy. Really is a very reliable strategy. Another of our course graduates, 30,000 profit within 4 months. Another of our course graduates, 500 profit per week. After the training, on average, I make $400 to $500 profit per week. Best thing of all, I'm only using $2,000 capital. Another of our course graduates, $2,000 to $11,000. Another of our course graduates, $48,000 profit in 1 month. Darren's training course has truly changed my financial destiny and that of my family. This month I made $48,000 from trading. Now, if you could make an extra $48,000 a month, would that make your life a bit easier? Yes or no? For sure. Another of our course graduates, $24,000 profit in 1 week. Another of our course graduates, quite a recent one, this, $5,000 to $144,000 in 14 weeks. I was a complete beginner. After doing Darren's training course, I turned $5,000 into $144,000 in 14 weeks. I'm very happy I decided to book on the course and highly recommend it. We have literally thousands of success stories and testimonials from people who've done the training. We actually have over 8,000 success stories and testimonials from people who've done our training course. How have we managed to get so many success stories? Because the strategies we teach work. How have we managed to be the #1 investment training company in Europe for over 15 years with clients now all over the world? Because the strategies we teach work. Now, what I'm going to do, actually, let me show you this. I mentioned earlier on the talk that I was in, just recently I was in the Caribbean. I was in Antigua for 3 months, just taking a holiday. And whilst I was there, I was doing an hour a week investing. One of the trades that I did whilst I was there, I invested $30,000 US dollars. Within a week, that had gone up to $1.9 million. Let me say that again. One of the trades that I did whilst I was there, I invested $30,000. Within a week, that had gone up to $1.9 million. I took a screenshot. Let me just see if I can find this for you. Oh, there we go. Yep. Have a look at that. Oops. I don't know if you can see that. No, up, down a bit. There we go. Just there, I think. So, about there. Oh, there we go. 1.915 million. So I'm going to show you how I did that. In the training course, I'm going to show you exactly how I did that strategy. Very profitable strategy. I've had a lot of fun using that one. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to give everyone on this webinar right now, I'm going to do something very, very special. And also, at the end of this talk, I'm going to share with you one of the most important things I've ever been taught about becoming truly wealthy. But first of all, I'm going to do something very, very special for everybody on this webinar. I am going to give you an incredible offer. And this offer will be absolutely amazing. You will definitely want to hear this offer. So let's have a look at this. Our online Forex and stock market masterclass training course is 100% online, so it's perfect for learning from home. It's over 16 hours of videos of me personally teaching the very best strategies, very best techniques I learned from the world trading champions. It's my life work. I spent over 20 years finding the very best strategies, finding the very best techniques. I worked out I spent over $100,000 of my money learning this stuff. In this online training program, you get everything. All the best strategies, all the best techniques. It really is an incredible training program. And I teach it in a very clear, simple way so that even complete beginners can understand. And I'm very proud of that training course. I truly believe it's the best online investment training course in the world. And you'll be learning the same things which I've taught thousands of other people how to invest successfully. Now, and as well as the online training, after each lesson, you get an online live questions and answer session. So you can get your individual questions answered live direct to you. And this is all done from home. You can be sitting at home to do this whole training. It's an incredibly effective way to learn. The normal investment for that is $4,997 US. But I am going to give you an absolutely incredible offer. As I said, you'll definitely want to hear this offer. But first of all, I would say at $5,000, so $4,997, that's basically $5,000. At $5,000, it is great value. What you learn on the course, you could use to make many times that. But I am going to give you an incredible offer. First of all, let me just tell you what you can learn on the course. You're going to learn step by step how to do all of this for real. So that even if you're a complete beginner, by the end of the training course, you'll know how to do this. You're going to learn my best Forex strategies, my best stock market strategies, exactly step by step how to do these, even if you're a beginner. And also, I'm going to give you my best cryptocurrency strategies for trading things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple. If you don't know what cryptocurrencies are, I will explain exactly what they are. I'm going to give you my very best cryptocurrencies trading strategies. And also, if you want to trade commodities, things like gold, silver, oil, I'll give you my best commodity strategies as well. So stocks, Forex, crypto, commodities, I will give you the best strategies I've ever used and traded. And I'm going to give you a strategy that I use to double my money in less than a week. Now, if you could double your money in less than a week, would that make your life a bit easier? Yes or no? For sure, yeah? And I'm going to show you how to set this all up on autopilot. So it'll take literally 1 hour a week to do these strategies. If you've got a full-time job, very easy to do this alongside. 1 hour a week, can be evening, can be weekend, easy to run it alongside whatever you're doing. And you're going to learn my most powerful day trading, medium-term and long-term strategies, and you're going to do practical exercises, you're going to see practical examples, really effective way to learn. As I said, normally at $5,000, I would say it's worth far more than that, but I'm going to give you an incredible offer. What I'm going to do is, instead of $5,000, I'm going to let you have the full, complete online training course, over 16 hours of videos of me personally teaching the very best strategies, very best techniques I learned from the world trading champions. Plus, after each lesson, you're going to get the online live questions and answer session, so you can get your individual questions answered direct to you. Instead of $5,000, I'm going to let you have that for just $397. That is absolutely incredible. That is the best offer we have ever done in the history of our company anywhere in the world. And I can see people saying, I want it, I'm going to buy it. Karen's saying, I'm sold, I want it. Wow, okay, loads of you saying, I want to buy it. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to make this even better. I'm going to give you a couple of extra things that will make this even better. You will definitely want to hear about those couple of extra things. But first of all, I would say at $5,000, really, this is great value. Many people who've done the course have gone on to make many times that. At 397 US dollars, that is absolutely incredible for what you're going to be learning. You're going to be learning the same things that I spent over $100,000 to learn. But I am going to make this even better for you. What I'm going to do is, I just see so many people there saying, I want a book, how can I book? I'm going to make it even better for you. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to give you a VIP upgrade. And what this means is, we talked about my trading watch list earlier. This is where each week I send you a list. I send you a list of exactly what I'm looking to trade for American stocks and shares, for UK stocks and shares, Forex trades, right up to date, exactly what I'm looking to trade. I currently have 43 people who've paid me $5,000 each to get hold of my watch list. Why do those people think it's worth paying me $5,000 to get my watch list? Because quite a few of them just copy my trades and make a lot more than that. Like this guy, $8,000 profit using Darren's watch list. My watch lists are well worth $5,000. What I'm going to say is, if you decide you want to go ahead with this offer right now, I'm going to include my watch list for free. Now that is huge, really. That is going to be an incredible resource for you. I would say just the watch lists by themselves are worth many times the 397, but I'm going to include those for free. And I can see people going crazy saying, sign me up, I want a book. I have something else I'm going to give you as well. First of all, we did talk about, I said before the end of this talk, I'd give one of you the chance to attend our 3-day investment success live event for free. I say give one of you the chance to attend that for free. Normally 2 tickets to that are $5,000. Many people have already bought 2 tickets from us for $5,000. They were very glad they did. I said I'd give one of you the chance to get that for free before the end of this talk. What I'm going to do is, I am going to give everyone the chance to get this for free. What I'm going to say is, if you decide you want to go ahead with this offer right now, I'm going to include 2 tickets to the live event for free as well. That's going to be an amazing experience for you. And something else which I do is I run webinars, monthly webinars, and they're about 30 minutes in length. And it's a great way to check you're constantly improving. And at the end of the webinar, I set a little 10-minute exercise, very simple. Anyone could do it, even a complete beginner. It's a great way to check you're constantly getting better. What I'm going to say is, well, 24 months worth of the webinars, value $2,000. That's 2 years of the webinars with me. If you decide you want to go ahead with this right now, I'm going to include that for free as well, which again is just going to be an incredible resource for you. Now, I'm almost there. I can see so many people saying, how do I book a place? I'm almost there. This next part of the offer, there is a price involved. So what I'll do is, I'm going to explain what this is. You can have a think about it, and then right at the end, decide if you want to include it, but there is a price involved. So you can have a think, decide right at the end if you want to include it. And that is one-to-one mentoring with me. I currently charge $30,000 for a one-to-one mentoring session. If you want to include it, it's going to be yours for just $3,000. You can have a think about that, decide right at the end if you want that included. But what I would say is, at $30,000, it is great value. Some of the people I've trained personally have gone on to make many times that. At $3,000, it is great value. What I can help you master in a one-to-one mentoring session will literally be some of the best investment techniques in the world. It will be an incredible session. Have a serious think about that. You can decide right at the end if you want that included. But I can tell you, that will be a life-changing session. Now, actually thinking about it, I'm going to include that for free as well. Now that is huge, really, that is huge. Now, let me just be clear, because I want to make sure you get the absolute most from this one-to-one mentoring session with me. So there's no point having it immediately. The way this will work is you'll do your online training program, you'll have the online live questions and answer sessions. We're going to make sure you know exactly what you're doing, you know exactly what strategies to use over the next maybe 6 to 8 weeks. You do perhaps 3 or 4 trades a week. You're going to send me in your first 25 trades. I'm going to look through them all. Then we do our one-to-one mentoring session together, because that way I can give you great feedback on your trades. I can make sure you get the absolute most from the session. It's going to be an incredible session. Some of the people that I've trained personally have gone on to make literally millions of dollars. It's going to be an incredible session. And as I said, I currently charge $30,000 for a one-to-one mentoring session. If you decide you want to go ahead with this right now, I'm going to include that for free. Now, let me just be clear, because this is my time involved. So I can't do this for everybody.
No.
There are literally thousands and thousands of people on this webinar right now. So what I'm going to say is the first 300 people only who book a place, I'm going to include that for free. And the link is in the yellow box there on the screen, and we're just putting it into the chat window as well. The first 300 people only who book a place, I'm going to include the one-to-one mentoring with me for free as well. If you want to try, as I said, we've got thousands and thousands of people on this webinar. If you want to be in those first 300, you're going to need to be fairly quick. So I'd say go to that link now and start filling in the form. If your booking goes through, that means you've got your place and you're in the first 300. Yeah, so go there now, start filling that in. And I can see loads of people saying, I'm there, I'm booking. Some people said they already got their place. Wow, that was super quick. Okay. So first 300 people, you're going to get everything I talked about just there. And I do have a couple of extra things that I'm going to give you. But if you want to try and be in the first 300, I suggest you go there now, start filling in the form. And by the way, let me know as soon as you've got your place. And I kind of welcome you. I can see already people saying, I'm in, I've got my place. I can see Ewa, I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. Congratulations. Austin, Petra, Mike, Jana, Paula, Andres, Bridget, Ahmad, Paul, Noel, Suzanne, Lata, I'm not sure if that's correct, your name. Gayla, Alexander, wow, okay, you guys are fast. Heather, you're in as well. Yeah, let me know as soon as you've got your place. So, a couple of extra things I'm going to do for you. Okay, let's go. Wow, I can see loads of people saying they've got their place now. It's going faster than I can read. So, if you've got your place, congratulations. A couple of extra things I'm going to do for you is, at your one-to-one mentoring session, I'm going to give you my personal email address, and I am personally going to provide your ongoing support. You can ask me any questions, anytime, forever. And I really do mean that. That's ongoing lifetime support from me personally. Now, I put here value $5,000. Lifetime support from me personally is worth way more than that. But I thought I got some kind of value to it. All of that would be $51,997 for you right now, $397. That is absolutely an incredible offer. And I can see so many people are saying they got their place now. It looks like, oh, Bonbon, so it said test there. Claudia's in, she's got her place. Alexander, Mohammed, Jessen, it looks like. Gerda, congratulations. And by the way, I saw somebody there saying there's just so many people trying to book a place. Someone's saying the website wouldn't load up. Because we've got hundreds and hundreds, possibly thousands of people all going to the site at the same time, if for some reason it didn't load, just refresh the browser, yeah? Or try a different browser. You could try Firefox or Safari or Chrome. It is working. So if for some reason you haven't been able to get on, just try and refresh it or use a different browser. But it is definitely working there. So, wow, and I see more people. Daniela saying she's in. Laura saying she's got a place. Pamela, congratulations. Okay, so something else which I'm going to, those places are going super fast. So if you want to try and be in the first 300, book your place now. I've got a couple more things I'm going to give you, but you're going to need to be pretty quick. So what I'm going to do is, I thought this would be a nice thing to do. I'm going to give you a way so that almost immediately you could get 100% of your cash back. And what I'm going to do is, once you've booked your place, you can then, if you just refer 2 people onto the training course and they book their place, I'll give you 100% of your course fee back. And you can actually give them the price I gave you just there, $397. So book your place, refer two people. When they book their place, I'll give you 100% of your course fee back. Now, they're going to get the online training program, but they don't get all this extra stuff that I'm giving you. That's just for you, yeah? But $397 just for the online training program is incredible value. So book your place, refer two people, you get 100% of your course fee back once they book and pay. And one almost last thing that I'm going to do for you, and this is an important thing, I am going to give you a 100% money back guarantee. As long as you're present for each of the webinars, do a little 10-minute exercise, which is our way to check you're on track, I guarantee if you don't make at least 10 times the training course fee in the first 24 months, I'll give you 100% of your course fee back. I know this stuff works, so I don't mind doing that. We've got over 8,000 success stories and testimonials, so I don't mind doing that. I'll say it again. If you don't make at least 10 times the training course fee in the first 24 months, I'll give you 100% of your course fee back. And I'll even let you keep the course materials. Yeah, I know this stuff works. I don't mind doing that. And what I'm going to do is, once you've made your first £100,000 profit, or $100,000 profit, and you're going to be learning strategies that could easily get you there, I'm going to invite you to a celebration dinner at my house. And after dinner, I'm going to work with you on your plan to hit your first $1 million profit. It's going to be an incredible session. I just had someone recently say to me, Darren, I've hit the first $100,000 profit. He's coming to my house. We're going to do this $1 million profit session. It's going to be incredible. I hope the next person is going to be you. I said this would be an incredible offer. That is an absolutely incredible offer. The Real Success team said to me, Darren, you've got to make this the best offer you've ever done in the history of your company anywhere in the world. And that really is an incredible offer. And there's one last thing that I was thinking, should I do this? And I can see so many people saying they got their place there. I can see, it looks like Steve, Tanya, Derek, Millie, Mickey, George. Wow. Let me just check actually. Let me look at the other screen. So that is, I can just see it, it's here somewhere. So it looks like that is 267 places. We've got, if I can work this out, was that 33 places left. So 33 places left. If you haven't got a place yet, they'll be gone in the next minute or two. Yeah, so 33 places left. Congratulations, if you've got a place, last chance. Yeah, these places will be gone in, I guess, a couple of minutes. So one last thing I was thinking to do, and I think I am going to do this. The 24 trade analysis videos on the 24 karat gold plated memory stick. I've got mine, oops, I'm just going to get it here. I've got mine just there, which I showed you earlier. What I'm going to say is, if you decide to book a place right now, the first 300 people who book a place, and there was 33 places left, I am going to include that for free as well, which is huge. Really, that is going to be an incredible resource for you. What I'll say is when you attend the physical event, the live event, you can pick up the physical USB, and I'll put those videos online as part of your training course. So you'll get those included. It's going to be an absolute incredible resource for you. As I said, a couple of investors, groups of investors, pay me $100,000 to get hold of that. You're going to get that for free. Now, that really is an incredible offer. And I can see that it looks like people saying they're, I'm trying to read, more people saying they've got their place, but it's going so fast now. Delia saying you're trying to book, but you're still waiting, still processing. Yeah, I think so many people are trying to book at the same time. Just keep refreshing the screen, or if it's processing, just wait and hopefully that will go through. Wow, I can see so many people saying they've got the place. Jenna, congratulations. Sony, congratulations. Michelle, congratulations. Susan says it's still processing. What I think I'll do is, it looks like we've got 17 places left now. And I can see loads of people still saying that they're waiting, it's processing, still processing. Well, hopefully that's going to go through fairly soon. But there are still, it looks like 17 places left at the moment. So what I would say is, and by the way, well, actually, first of all, let me just do a quick summary for you. I would say, I can see loads and loads of people saying their payment is still processing now. So if you haven't filled in the booking form, do it now, fill it in and let it process. And if it's processing, it goes through. I think what I'll do is, because I can see so many people saying their booking is still processing, if you do it right now and it's processing, and it then goes through after the places have gone, I'll still make sure you get everything that I've offered you here, as long as you've done the booking already or you're doing it right now. Because I just see so many people trying to do that, just to be fair on everybody who's already filled in the form there. But we do still have, as I said, it looks like, well, it's actually 13 places now, 13 places left. So, summarize for everybody. What I would say is, in life, you've got to do something to get your money working for you. Because otherwise you spend your whole life working for money instead of money working for you. And one of the best ways to do this, I would say the best way to do this, is to learn investing. Because once you're good at investing, you can make money anytime, any place, whatever's happening to the economy, and it can take literally 1 hour a week. And you can do it from your phone. You can be traveling around, you can trade from your phone, you can do this any country you want to. And once you're good, you can share this with your family, your loved ones, and it just gives you this peace of mind. If you have a way to make money from home that doesn't rely on anyone else, that you can do in your spare time, that is such a great feeling. And I think, particularly last year, a lot of people realized you can't rely on a job. You can't rely on a boss. You can't rely on a business even. A lot of businesses hit hard times. You can't rely on property or real estate portfolio. A lot of property portfolios hit hard times. One thing you could rely on was investing. It was actually even easier to make money investing. And I can see a few people there still saying they're trying to get the website to load. By the way, I saw a couple of people there saying that your card was declined. If for some reason you tried to do your booking and your card was declined, you could just try a different card. Sometimes that works. Maybe try a debit card or try a different credit card. Sometimes that does the trick and it then goes through. But if you're still processing or the site's still loading, Chrome, Firefox, it should, hopefully it will go through. It's just, I imagine there's, well, hundreds, if not thousands of people trying to book at the same time there. So let's, well, I believe in faith. I think you're here for a reason. Yeah, you're here today listening to this talk right now, sitting, looking at your computer screen. You're meant to be here. Just make sure you do take the next step and book a place, yeah? So you can really master this. And I think there's, I know when you're, sometimes when I'm thinking to learn something new or do something new, there can be a bit of fear there. It's natural when you're going to do something new, there can be a bit of fear, a bit of hesitation, but you've got to push through that to take your life to the next level. So if you are thinking about booking a place and you're sitting there and you're kind of hesitating or you're a bit scared, I would say go ahead. Yeah, you've got to do this. This is how you get to the next level in life, by pushing through your fears, by taking action. So I'd say go ahead. And what I'm going to do, I can see still lots of people saying they're waiting, their bookings are processing. I think I knew this was going to be popular. I didn't realize quite how popular. So there's lots of people here in the window saying, Darren, please, can you make sure I still get my place? What I'll do, I mean, this is my time involved, but so many people are asking the question. I think what I'll do is I'll say the next 100 people who book a place, I will still make sure you get everything that I've talked about there, just to be fair on everybody, because I see a lot of people still waiting, still trying to get their booking to go through. The next 100 people, I will make sure you get everything I've talked about. After that, I'm not adding in any more places. This is my time involved, yeah? But I will say for the next 100 people, I'll make sure you get everything I talked about there, including the one-to-one mentoring with me. Now, and what I found is in life, there tends to be, I'm sure you found the same thing, there tends to be certain moments in life where you have a decision to make, and that decision can massively improve your life. And I really believe this is one of those moments. It could be right now, this moment in your life where you're thinking, shall I do this? Or I am going to do this, or I've done this. You look back on this moment in 3 months' time, 6 months' time, 9 months' time, and you say to yourself, wow, I'm so glad I decided to go ahead, because now I have this extra stream of income coming in, my wealth is growing, I was a little bit scared, I kind of hesitated, but I went ahead, and look where I am now. I really think this is one of those moments where it can massively improve your life, which is one of the things which gets me passionate and gets me excited about this, because I've seen the huge improvements in people's lives once you really master this. And I think everybody really should master investing. It's the #1 skill in life when it comes to income and wealth. And somebody said to me, I thought this was an interesting thing. It was one of my clients. He said, I don't love investing. He said, but I love the lifestyle it's given me. He said, and I thought that was really interesting. He said, because it's given me the time and the money to do the things I really do love in life. You don't have to love investing. You don't even have to like investing. Like and love the lifestyle it gives you, because it gives you the time and money to do the things you really want to do in life. You probably noticed from a couple of my slides there, I love skiing, I love snowboarding. Once I got good at investing, it gave me the time and the money to be able to travel the world with my best friends. We go to lots of exotic places for skiing and snowboarding. We went to Alaska, we went to Japan. It lets me do the things I love in life. This is what it's all about. It's about giving you the opportunity, giving you the time and the money to do what you really care about in life. Maybe you've got a hobby you want to do more of. Maybe you've got a business you want to start. Fantastic. Learn investing. So you've got the money and the time to do that. Maybe you want to be able to support a charity or start your own charity. Fantastic. Learn investing. So you've got the time and the money to do that. And if you think about this, 300, oh, by the way, somebody was just saying there, if they were still having a problem with their booking going through, let me just bring this up. Can you see in the green box there, if for any reason your booking doesn't go through, you can always send us an email, the Real Success team. You can send them an email. The email address is in the green box there. We just put it in the chat window as well, I think. Send us an email, include your phone number with your country code, because one of the team will give you a call and they'll help you with your booking if it hasn't gone through. So if you're trying to get your booking to go through and you're having any problems, send an email right now, include your phone number and the country code, your mobile number with the country code and your name, and one of the team, they'll give you a call. But you need to do it right now so we know you were here while there were still some places left. So it's in the green box there, and we just put it in the chat window. Name, country code, mobile number. If you send it in right now, then I'll make sure that you do get one of the places with everything I talked about. But you need to do it now so we know you were here. Okay, so, and if you think about this, let me just go back a slide. If you think about this, $397. How much is that spread over 1 year? $397 over 1 year. What is it? Just over. I can see on the slide there. It says at the bottom of the slide it says $970. Is $370. That $970. I keep forgetting to change that. That was an offer that I did just recently. Normally, the cheapest I offer this is $970. So when I said this is the cheapest, best offer we've ever done in the history of our company anywhere in the world, that is 100% genuine. Quite often, the offer that I do is $970. So